Hey everybody, I'm Kelsey and this is Cassidy and Katie. And thanks so much for coming to our YouTube channel where we talk about the course, Write Your Way to Freedom. A lot of people have a lot of questions and we have three different unique answers from three people who have actually taken the course. So we hope that you find this information helpful. Feel free to browse all of our questions in the notes below. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them and we'll try and get to them in one of our next recordings. Today, we're going to be talking about how long it took each of us to land our first clients. Do one of you two want to kick us off?
I will kick it off. Okay, so I bought Write Your Way to Freedom in December 2018, and I landed my very first client in March 2019. So, like 3-ish months. In March 2019, I made $120. That was my total income for the whole month. Just to give you some backstory, I started copywriting with a major scarcity mindset, and my only goal was to make $2,600 a month, which is what I was earning in my full-time job as an academic advisor at the time. That broke down to $15 an hour. So in my mind, I was like, if I'm at least making $15 an hour when everything is broken down, I am doing great. And if you are listening to this right now and you're thinking, yeah, that sounds good to me, like what's wrong with that logic? Yeah, you are responsible for so much stuff as a freelancer, like taxes. No one's paying you while you go to the bathroom or answer emails and stuff. Like there's just so much stuff that you don't get paid for that you have to do for your freelance business that you need to earn more than $15 an hour to actually be making more than minimum wage when it all breaks down. I love that you're laughing so hard, Kelsey. So yeah, my very first freelance client paid me $40 an article, which broke down to 8 cents per word because it was 500 word articles. And I did 3 of them in March and I felt fabulous. I still can picture so vividly the dance I was doing in my office when I got that first paid invoice, like utter joy, sheer excitement. Like it was phenomenal. And then just a little side note, in April, 1 month later, I made $504. So I doubled my income. But then in May is when things really took off and I made $2,800, which was my goal. Yeah. So it only took 3 months from the time I started earning something with copywriting to then replace what I wanted to replace, which was my $2,600 a month full-time salary at the time. And that also just proves that whenever you're freelancing, you think very linearly, like, okay, if I make $500 this month, maybe I'll make 700 the next month and then 1,000 the next month. But that just shows you how quickly it can pop off once you start finding clients.
Totally agree with that. I love that we were talking before we started recording this, but Cassidy had all those numbers because she is the financial girl and has all of her spreadsheets. Also, I did want to say, if you want a picture of Cassidy's dance, you need to follow her on Instagram because she posts the cutest, most amazing dancing videos. And it is peak amazing.
I think this is another good spot too, real fast, to just shamelessly plug. If you are nervous about the finances at all, head over to Money Hungry Freelancers and Cassidy will take care of you the way that she takes care of Katie and I. She does a really amazing job just making sure that all freelancers feel really comfortable knowing exactly how much they need to make, what they should be setting aside, how they should be thinking about their business. And she's never going to tell you don't go buy the latte or the cute pair of jeans or the new shoes that you really want or the really expensive podcast microphone. She talks about how to budget it in the things that you really want that will bring you joy. So make sure you head over there if you're nervous at all or if you're curious at all. Money Hungry Freelancers.
I will talk about clients next. I purchased Write Your Way to Freedom in October of 2019, officially launched my website in January of the following year of 2020, January 2020, Katie was so optimistic. Oh my gosh, you guys, she had no idea. Such a simpler time. One of Sarah's biggest recommendations is to reach out to your own community first, because when you're starting, you need just a little bit of credibility and you're not going to have that with a stranger on the internet. So she says to start with the people start with your circle. And so because I had opportunities to interview some people for past projects I had done for freelance articles, One of them that I interviewed and really hit off with was a local influencer and like lifestyle blogger here in the Twin Cities. And we had really connected on our call. And so I emailed her and said like, hey, I know that we worked in this capacity together, but I just wanted to let you know that I've started my own business writing blogs. If you ever need help and support with your blog, like, let me know. Feel free to reach out, pick my brain. I just was trying to, I would have loved to write for her with her. I think I was new enough that I still felt like, oh my gosh, I'm nowhere near good enough to do this. But even if I can like let her talk to me and get some tips and like build up a little credibility that way, maybe she'll pass my name along to someone else in that community or something. Like I didn't even have a clear goal for it, but she did. She wanted to partner on a couple blogs for her website. So that was my very first client. I think I charged her like $150 for a blog. And then the next month I reached out to, it was one of those like friend of a friend of a friend kind of things where I could name drop just a tiny bit in the cold email pitch that I sent. And it was a local design build firm. And I got them for 2 blogs a month for $200 each. So then the next month I was making $550. And then like Cassidy said, the third month, it was just this exponential thing. My very first client reached out to me from my website, which like made me want to vomit, you guys. Like you think you're so prepared, like reaching out to clients. You're like, I know how to pitch. I know how to do this. And something about the tables being turned of them reaching out to me, I was like, what is happening? I don't know how to do this, but they wanted help with the website. And I will say, this is a client I still partner with almost 3 years later. Absolutely adore him. Met him in LA this July when I was out there for lunch. But yeah, we tackled his website and I think it was like $1,200. And then that was literally the week before everything shut down for COVID and the pandemic. And to be honest, with like 2 tiny children home full time and my husband now having to like work from the office and all the things, I was like, well, that was cute. I guess we're done with that. But I could not believe how the pandemic just like skyrocketed. I write for mostly interior designers at the time. Now I've pivoted to do more creatives and brand messaging, but I was shocked at how much it caused business to pick up because so many people had to really rethink their online presence, their digital marketing, which they'd been able to kind of not consider as much. And so by the end of 2020, the second half of 2020, I was making consistently at least 5, 6, 7K months.
Amazing. Really, really amazing.
I was going to say, Katie also brought up a good point. You found your first client through like referrals by reaching out to your network a little bit. And I found my first client strictly through cold emailing. So I did the approach that Sarah outlines in the course where I just started targeting companies within my niche and just cold emailing them until I got my first hit.
I got a little bit jealous of Cassidy's having her old spreadsheet out and ready. So I busted off my dusty old 2021 spreadsheet. So my first client, I started taking the course like very end of July. I think it was like July 26th or something like that. I don't know why I remember it, but I feel like I was like, I can't count this month. Like it's not really, I'm not really starting this month because it was like the end of it. So I took the course. And for those of you who have heard like our origin stories, I just wanted to blow through it as fast as I could, retain as much as I could, but get through it as fast as I could because I was getting married in October. And I knew if I didn't build momentum, I would probably never come back to it again. So in August of 2021, I took the course, I built a website, and I started reaching out to clients and I made $300. So if you really want to like go from 0 to 100, it is totally possible. And like I said, my origin story, my calendar of how I did that and what you needed to do each day is floating around in the group somewhere. So feel free to message me if you can't find it. But if you do decide to join, I'd be happy to send it your way. So August, I made $300. And this is another, I'm glad that we all have these 3 different experiences of how we got our first client, I'm realizing, because my first year, the first couple of months, were really influenced by the group, like the amount that I was able to make. So basically what happened was somebody had posted in the group, hey, like one of the clients I write for needs more blog posts. He's willing to do a testimonial in exchange. He can't pay you right now, but you should reach out to him. And I was like, cool, perfect. That was just like a post in general discussions. And so I reached out to him and he was lovely. And I wrote a blog post for him and he gave me a really great testimonial. And I just threw in by the way, if you ever have any sort of budget to pay somebody to do this, let me know. And he was like, how much of a budget would I need? And I was like, well, I could do it for $100 a blog post. And he was like, sold, let's do 3 of them. And that's how I made the $300. So even though it was a situation where they were like, they don't have any money to pay you, I was just like, I'm just going to pitch everywhere I can. That seems to make sense. And that was how I made my first $300. And then after that, so September, I made $675, but it looks like at least 50% of that also came from referrals in the course. I found somebody else in the course who needed a junior copywriter and a little bit of extra support. And so I was writing underneath them, just like as a ghostwriter, essentially. So I wasn't making a ton, but I was getting this really awesome experience where I was getting to learn from this copywriter that I really admired. And she was able to give me feedback on my writing, which I do think helped me become a much better blog writer over time. And then other than that, everyone else was either a referral or a cold pitch happened to work out. And then in October, when I got married, I made $450. I did almost no copywriting work that month. And I think they were like second payments like coming in that weren't even like, I don't even think I did the writing for it then, which again was 300 of that was that first client that I started with. And then in November, I made $3,940. And again, a lot of that is that first client that I got in the group and cold pitching and copywriting under some other copywriters in the group to get experience. So I have said multiple times that this group, like Right Your Way to Freedom, has the amount that I paid, Right Your Way to Freedom has paid for it 10 times over, probably, I would say, in the leads that I've gotten from the group alone. So
I agree. And I love that you mentioned writing underneath a more seasoned writer from the group, because I did exactly that too. I got some amazing experience on different types of copy that I really wanted to try my hand at, but I felt like I had no idea how to pitch something I had never done before. And so this copywriter was working with, again, I was writing for designers and like lifestyle brands, and she worked with like a home and design brand. And I got to write all sorts of product descriptions and all sorts of just like really fun little things that she was too busy to do and wanted to outsource. But there, I mean, like you said, in the discussions, I mean, there's an entire tab in the group that's called opportunities, and people post opportunities. They have either a client they've been working with for a long time that they've maybe like outgrown what their budget is, or they've, pivoted niches, or they're just making some sort of change. I would say there's multiple posts in there every day, I think. And it's really incredible, to get these opportunities, but also B, like Kelsey said, to get the opportunity to work underneath someone and kind of build up that confidence and get a seasoned writer giving you, bless you, giving you feedback and insights and just helping you grow into a better writer and grow your confidence at the same time while getting paid.
Yeah, I was going to say, as our group grows, like there's so many opportunities being shared on the opportunities section of the group that it is almost like this daily job board that you can just pop in and look at every day to see if there are any opportunities that are a good fit for you, which is like a very surprising perk of the group. And I don't even know that Sarah talks about it or advertises it. Like I don't know if anyone who's not in the group knows about it. But yeah, so many benefits in there.
yeah. And a lot of times what's shared is like Katie was saying, like clients that they've worked with previously, or if a lot of times people will be like, I found this and it's really cool. If anyone's interested, like feel free to apply. I don't know anything else. So we're all kind of looking out for each other in that way, which is really nice. And then the other situation that comes up a lot too is if a client is not aligned with your budget, if budgets don't work out, or if like timing doesn't work out, a lot of times they'll just pass that opportunity along too. I think I passed like 3 or 4 along that just monetarily didn't make sense for me to take on, but were going to be really great opportunities for more junior copywriters who just had a lower hourly rate than what I have. It's opportunities, but we should change it to the job board because yeah, there are quite a few like really awesome opportunities. And I really appreciate Sarah. I've seen her share different opportunities that have been like sent to her a couple of times too. So it's not just like you're looking at like these positions that are just for junior copywriters or whatever. A lot of times someone will come in with like some pretty like amazing or high caliber clients that you can potentially work for.
Yeah. And two, as your copywriting business grows, like there are people who post in there because they are looking for assistant copywriters.
I have partnered with people from the group where, a company approached me that had a pretty healthy marketing budget, and I didn't have the bandwidth to take it all on personally. I didn't have the time to start blogs from scratch and do all the things. But I knew that there were plenty of really seasoned writers in the group, people that were really interested in learning. Frankly, sometimes there are people that love to do the work, love to sit down and write, don't want to get bogged down with client work, don't want to have to do all of the back and forth, work with their marketing team. They just would rather hole up in a coffee house and write and be done. And so if you can find those people, and you can, I put out again, in the opportunities thing, I said, hey, I'm looking for a junior writer because I have this client who approached me. I told them that I was going to bring on a junior writer, that I would be responsible then for kind of the revisions, the final draft. I would be their only point of contact. However, I was going to bring on someone to support me in this. I got like 15 pitch emails within 6 hours, I think, from writers in the group. It was a lot. Everyone wants to write in the interiors niche because she's real fun, but it was a blast. I found a writer that I have worked with for, gosh, a year and a half now, and she's a total gem. And I mean, it was a big retainer. I was making what I felt like was very reasonable for the amount of time and energy and authority I was projecting and giving to this client, and also paying her, I want to say our highest months were like $1,400, $1,500 for the blogs and social media captions she was sending my way. So this isn't just like writing under someone to make like pennies on the dollar. Like if you find somebody who really aligns with you, it's such a win-win situation to have a trustworthy junior writer who treats your business like their own, who really takes pride in the work they do, who shows up reliably. That's worth compensating well. And I was happy to do it. It was such a win-win.
That's such a good point too, to just say that, like, if you're super nervous about pitching clients, or if that doesn't feel good to you, and if you, I suggest you try it. It's like worth it to try, because nobody feels great about pitching themselves at the beginning of things. And a lot of people will learn how to do it. But if after a couple of months, you're still like, this doesn't feel right to me, I don't like doing this, then it really might be worthwhile for you to look into how can I support some other copywriters, or work with some agencies, or just basically work in a capacity where you don't have to do that pitching. So just, I feel like we say this every video, but it's just another example of how a lot of other copywriter courses are like, this is how you do it, and these are the steps. And Sarah's course is much more so just like, build it with what makes sense for you and what lights you up and make you happy. And if you just want to find a copywriter sugar daddy and hole up and write for them all the time, then you might just luck yourself out and end up with a Katie. Who knows? Thanks so much for tuning into our video today. I'm Kelsey, and this is Katie and Cassidy. And together we talk about what it's like to be in the program Write Your Way to Freedom, to help you determine if it's the right fit for you or not. If anything from the videos today resonated with you or made you decide like, yes, this is it, I want to sign up, it would mean the world to us if you used our referral code. For full transparency, we do get a little bit of a monetary kickback every time somebody signs up that we split between the three of us. And we also make a $100 donation to World Central Kitchen, which you can find out more information on via the link in our notes. So thanks so much for tuning in, and check out the rest of our questions. We've probably answered the one that you have. Bye.